Well, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.
This is James Mathers at NAB 2019 for the Digital Cinema Society and Studio Daily. I'm here at the Blackmagic design booth, and Simon Westland is going to tell us about all the new things, cameras, a lot of new features in Resolve.
Sure, always new things at NAB, James, as you know, and we seem to do this every year, so it's great to see you again. One of the products that we're showing here on the booth, we announced actually about 5 or 6 weeks ago, which is the new Blackmagic URSA Mini G2. This camera, in terms of, so if people are familiar with the original URSA Mini Pro, it's going to look exactly the same in terms of the feature set and the functions. So it's got the NDR filters in there, it's got the flip out screen, it's got the V-mount or gold mount batteries, it's native EF, but you can have PL and F mount adapters. All of those things are exactly the same between the URSA Mini Pro and the URSA Mini Pro G2. So what's different? So it's a brand new sensor within there. It's still a 4.6K sensor. It's the same size sensor. It's Super 35, but we can now bring you much higher frame rates. So we can give you 120 frames per second at Ultra HD, and we can give you up to 300 frames at HD. So this really is a camera for high frame rate production. So very similar in every other sense. So if you already have an URSA Mini Pro, all of your accessories, your viewfinder, your shoulder mounts, all the different kits that we offer for that camera will fit with the new G2. A couple of other things that have changed on this. It also now includes, and this is something we have on our pocket camera, this is the USB-C port so that you can record to an external disc. That's been really popular on the pocket camera. So as well as the internal CFast and SD card recording, you can now attach a USB-C device and record directly to that drive as well. So that's great, especially if you want to record longer form material. Of course, as with all Blackmagic cameras, it's now got Blackmagic RAW within there, and that's made a huge difference for people. We're getting really exciting feedback about the use of Blackmagic RAW. Previously, when we shot RAW within our cameras, we used the Cinema DNG format, which was a frame-based file format. So you've got a folder full of files that you then assembled within your editing application. Blackmagic RAW is a single file-based codec. It offers extremely efficient production. You can have 3:1, 5:1, 8:1, 12:1 forms of compression. It's really easy to move around, and because it's a file format that we've developed, it's not a generic codec. For a start, it's 12-bit. Which is great, so we're retaining all of that color information rather than it being a generic 10-bit video codec. This is a 12-bit codec for RAW. And because we're developing it for our cameras, we're able to profile the characteristics of the lens and the sensor, so we can pull all of that information through from the lens into the file type. All that information is retained all the way through the post-production process. So it really is, it's one of those you need to kind of see to believe in terms of just how great this looks, but essentially it's a really easy file format to use, and of course in post-production, that's a great thing.
So RAW works with all different cameras.
It is, you get it in the pocket camera as well. All these cameras as well use our Generation 4 color science, so it's become really easy to use pocket camera and URSA Mini Pro together on the same shoot and get a very similar looking image. So there's lots of benefits of using both the Generation 4 color science that's now in there, the Blackmagic RAW, across those different cameras.
What's the price range and availability?
So that's $5,995. We announced it 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we started to ship them right now, so they're going out the door now.
Available now?
Yeah, available now.
That's a big improvement. It used to take a long time for Blackmagic to get their cameras developed.
These things are not easy to build, James.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And how about new features with Resolve?
So, look, Resolve, and this year marks the 10th anniversary of DaVinci Resolve being a part of Blackmagic, so that's quite exciting. And I think, you know, people are now accustomed to the fact that we turn up at NAB and there's always a brand new Resolve release. We've almost set a challenge to ourselves because it's become an expectation. And everybody that's ever bought Resolve gets all those updates and upgrades for free, which in itself is...
Anybody that's ever bought a camera has a full copy.
Absolutely, which is pretty incredible. We've done something really significant, I feel, in DaVinci Resolve this year, and that is we're offering a brand new way of editing now, which is a bold statement. Of course, as we've improved and increased the capability of the editing function within Resolve, one of the problems that you have is that it becomes quite complex. There's so much in there to enable you to fine-tune and finesse your edit that as you add more and more features, the sacrifice there is that you can slow down that edit process. Now, of course, speed is essential. Whatever you're working on, whether that's commercials or editorial, or maybe you're just doing features for the web, you want to work at speed. And what we've now done within DaVinci Resolve is we have a brand new cut page. So the cut page is really all about speed. And Grant likens this, and it's actually a very good analogy, to actually a manufacturing process whereby if you have movements in manufacturing excuse me, that are unproductive, then those movements are waste. And actually what you'd look to do in the manufacturing process is eliminate that waste so that every movement you made had a purpose and was there for productive reasons. So within the cut page of DaVinci Resolve, we've really focused on exactly that. We want all the movements you make to help you assemble your edit really, really quickly. So we've done a number of really cool things in there. We've added new features like the ability to scroll through your clips and add all of those clips into a source tape view. The source tape view, this is kind of like an old, you've got an old digibeta tape and you'd scroll through it to find the shot you wanted. Well, you can now scroll through all your clips as if it was one big clip and then start dropping it down to the timeline. So it's incredibly quick to use. One of the things that you'll see when you see the interface is that it has a dual timeline feature. The top timeline is your entire project. So you're seeing in to out of your whole project on that top timeline. And you'll see the CTI, the playhead, you'll see that move across the project as you go through it. The bottom timeline has a fixed playhead. And that is actually a zoomed in, frame accurate position as to where you are in the project. Now what's cool is that you can actually perform functions on both timelines. So you could go up to your top timeline and start moving clips. You could come to your bottom timeline and do the same. We've added a whole load of brand new trim tools in there. So actually you can do all of these things on one page without having to have a load of contextual menus and things that are buried deep inside the application. Add to that, we've then got a really cool additional feature that we've now got some hardware to go with that. And we've got a DaVinci Resolve editor keyboard. Now what this enables you to do, for those of us that are old enough to remember linear editing where it was entirely a hands-on process, we've taken Resolve back into that environment. So through the editor keyboard, on the left-hand side, you've got mark in and mark out points, you've got the ability to select roll, ripple, edits, and you can also, on the left-hand side, drop all your edits onto that timeline, all by hand. On the right-hand side, you've got an electronic clutch, so you've got a wheel there, a search dial there, which enables you to do jog, shuttle, or scroll through position. So you can literally now sit and edit with two hands, almost without ever needing to touch the mouse. So in terms of speed, it's incredible. But the key thing to all of that is that we're not forcing people down that route because the edit page is still within Resolve. We still have those exact same tools. So at any point of the process, if you want to move from the cut page to the edit page, it's simply one click and you're back into the environment that you already know. So that's great because, as I say, it gives people an alternative option, a faster option to work with. And the one thing that all of our customers tell us all of the time is they want to work fast. So that's a constant. So I don't care what work you're doing, the need to work at speed is there for everybody in the industry. So this is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. One of the things you see that we've added to this camera is a brand new Pocket Cinema Camera battery grip. This contains 2 additional batteries. And one of the things that we were finding is more and more people were using the features of the Pocket camera for things like phantom powering mics, so that was having a draw on the internal battery power, but also maybe operating additional devices on the top, so a video assist or a USB-C drive. So if you wanted to go out to a USB-C drive for external recording, you were going to use power up in powering that drive. So one of the things that we've done is we've added a custom designed battery grip which fits the bottom of the camera beautifully and allows you easy access to those batteries on the side of the unit so that you can extend the battery life of the camera. And it really does, it still feels great in terms of being able to use the camera and handhold the camera in live shooting.
And I know that all your I/O is now 8K.
Yeah, absolutely. 8K is a big theme of this show, and of course Resolve will do 8K, and that's great. But we've also added a whole new range of production switches, hyperdeck disc recorders are now 8K. We've got a bunch of 8K monitoring products as well. So yeah, 8K is certainly an underlying theme of stuff we're showing here at the show.
Thank you so much, Simon.
Great to see you, James.